So many of you have asked me for a solution that is free that can allow you to set up hotspot vouchers, and in this video I am going to show you exactly how to do that using Mikhmon. What's up? Welcome to the channel. Linus is the name, and of course we do talk everything tech, hotspot, and everything else right here on this channel. Now today's video, many of you have asked me, how do you set up voucher cards, yes, for hotspots, so that you can print those ones and then sell those to your clients. And in this particular case, you wanted an app that is free because you don't want to keep on paying, monthly subscription fees like in the previous app we talked about. So that's where an app called Mikhmon comes in. Now, one, it is free, but the downside is it is mainly on PC. Of course, there are tweaks and ways you can use to run it on your mobile phone. We'll look at that in some later videos, but for now, primarily it is going to be running on your PC since it's a PHP based website. Now, let me not talk too much. Let's just go straight into the setup process, how you set up the router itself from scratch, install Mikhmon, create profiles, and then generate those much needed voucher codes. Let's go straight to the computer and get to that. Okay, so welcome to the desktop, and first things first, we're going to download the tools that we're going to need in our setup today, starting with Winbox. So Winbox, you get it from mikrotik.com/download, and in this particular case, I'm just going to go over here and download version 3.42. I prefer that one to the version 4. I don't know why, I just find it much better. So there we have, having downloaded that. Next thing we're going to need to do is download Mikhmon. This particular site comes in Indonesian, so make sure your Google Translate is always on, just so that you can understand what it is you're downloading. So we go over here to, so there's version 3 and version 4. I prefer version 3. Adverts as usual. So we're going to go down to version 3 once that opens. Version 3. Okay. So here we go. So version 3 opens. I prefer version 3. You can always go for version 4, which has more features and what, but I personally like version 3. So scroll all the way down. Then we're going to say download Mikhmon version 3. And then over here we have version 3 plus web server. Version 3 plus web server, and then Mikhmon just version 3 installation guide, and also you can read the change catalog to know what has changed. So we're going to go with version 3 plus web server. That's what we're going to download. And downloading done. So in this particular case, we have downloaded all the tools that we need for our configuration. So once that is done downloading, we're just going to go over to our downloads folder. You'll find them in zip files and just extract them. I've already extracted mine over here. And then we're going to go for Winbox. Winbox in this particular case, just double click on it. It opens a version of Winbox. Make sure you allow it through your firewall in case you're running a firewall like I do. So in this particular case, that is Winbox for us. Just put it down here for quick reference. And then also make sure you extract the Mikhmon. Make sure you extract the Mikhmon folder in over there. Now Mikhmon folder, we will have this, which is basically Mikhmon server and the other folders. For now, let's just pin this over here as well. Okay, so having pinned that down at the bottom, so we have a Mikhmon over here and we have a Winbox over here. Now from here, now you make sure that your MikroTik is plugged into power, and then it's also plugged into your desktop using a LAN cable, so you make sure you're connected to it directly. Now let's go over to Winbox, and in this particular case we're just going to go to neighbors and refresh, see whichever MikroTik is available. I have a couple of them installed, but I know the one I'm dealing with is this one. So if your MikroTik is new, your username is just going to be admin with no password. Connect, and then this is what you're going to encounter. So this is, if your MikroTik is new, basically it is this. If you're dealing with, there are some versions where the password is at the back of the MikroTik, you might want to take a note of that and then use that to enter. Now if you're dealing with an older MikroTik that maybe already had a configuration before, and you want to start afresh, what you do is log on to it. It's an older MikroTik, maybe you've been using it, let's say even if it's new but you've set it up before, so log into it because you know its username and password, you'll go to system, go to reset configuration, click no default configuration. Yeah, this particular part is vital because you remove all the background things that MikroTik normally puts in, firewall rules and all those things. So no default configuration, and then you click reset configuration. That is if you already have a config running on it. Okay, so in this particular case, we need to give our MikroTik an admin password. Okay, and once that is done, we are good to go. Okay, so I'm going to close this and open it again just so that I can now log in here with my new password. Okay, done. And here we go. Let's just make this slightly bigger. All right, so this is now our MikroTik, no default configuration, fresh and loaded. Now first things first, we are going to give it some internet to make sure our MikroTik has internet. Now I've plugged my internet into port 1 of the MikroTik, so I'm just going to go to IP, DHCP client, add a new client on Ether1, apply, and okay. So as you can see, it has been given an IP address by the internet service provider, and now our MikroTik has internet access. So if I go, for example, over here to terminal and I ping the Google DNS 8.8.8, you'll see that we do have a reply. That means our MikroTik has access to the internet. This is good if you want to update your MikroTik, you want to do all the background things, so it's always good to give it internet first, and to also make your testing to see if your things are working a lot easier. All right, now next thing we're going to do is this particular MikroTik has a wireless card, so I want to utilize this wireless card, you know, because it will help us when we are testing, and also it will help us figure out things way faster than having to plug it into another access point. So this is 1.1, VLAN 1, as you can see it. Let's go over to the wireless tab. It comes as a station. We're going to switch it to an access point bridge. I prefer the channel BGN on the 2 GHz platform. SSID, we're going to call this one, let's call this Tech Hotspot. Okay, so Tech Hotspot. And then once we're done with that, security profile is default. Remember, we reset it with no default configuration, so there's no password on there. So I'm going to enable this. Yes, apply, and okay. So just like that, now we have a wireless network coming from our MikroTik. Okay, next thing we're going to do now, we are going to before we get into the setting up of the hotspot, we're going to first go and set up a bridge. So we go to bridge. In bridge, we're going to add an interface. First we're going to create a new bridge, and we're going to call this bridge hotspot. Bridge.hotspot, bridge-hotspot dot whatever, apply, and okay. And then now on this bridge, you're going to add some ports. We're going to start with, we can't put Ether1. Ether1 is under us bringing in our internet. You don't want it on there, so let's start with Ethernet 2, add to the bridge, apply, copy. Ethernet 3, this is add to the bridge, apply, copy. So basically what I'm doing here now is I'm adding all the ports onto our bridge. So basically what I want to do here is I want all the ports on this particular MikroTik router to be on my hotspot bridge, in that for as long as it is part of this MikroTik router, I can just, you know, plug in anything to it and to be going to my hotspot. Okay, so we have our interfaces over here. Interface 2, 3, 4. We need to add interface 5. Where is 5? Where are you? There you go. Apply. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then WLAN, which is the wireless LAN. All right, so far so good. Now once we are done with this, now we are going now to go down to IP hotspot. Okay, now in IP hotspot, we're going to be creating a new hotspot setup. In here, we are going to choose our bridge because that is where all our interfaces are. We're going to go to next, local address for the network. In this particular case, we can leave it at 10.5. This actually gives us way more IP addresses, but for the case of this tutorial, let's go to 192.168 dot maybe 4.1/24. Okay, I'll go next, next, next again. DNS servers not needed. Next, DNS name. So this here is very, very important. The DNS name, you've always got to set your DNS name. So in this particular case, I called my hotspot tech hotspot, so I can easily call this tech.hotspot. Yes, so in this particular case, what will happen is on my network, anytime I type in tech.hotspot, it will automatically take me to the login page, the captive portal page. This happens sometimes on some phones that don't display it automatically, so it's very good to have that. We go to next, and then now we have a local admin user. Yes, so we need a password for that one. Yes, so 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9. Yeah, better use a more secure password. I'm just using this for test purposes, and then we go next. Okay, and just like that, setup has completed successfully. So as far as the MikroTik is concerned, we have done almost everything. We've ticked our boxes. Yes, we've given a MikroTik internet. We have created our bridge, which is collecting all these guys together. They're all running very beautifully, and we have created our hotspot. As you can see, the server profiles are there. We have our default user over there. So as far as we're concerned, we are done with the MikroTik. So let's go over to Mikhmon. So the Mikhmon will pop up this, and then we say open Mikhmon. As soon as you try opening Mikhmon, if your hotspot has been set up right, you should be greeted with this login page showing that actually your hotspot is working. So now let's go over here to type in the username that we set earlier, admin. Another password that I remember telling you to make sure you put a secure password. Mine was 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to 9. Connect, and just like that, we are in. Okay, good. So once now that we are in, I'm just going to go back here to Mikhmon and open Mikhmon. So this is what the Mikhmon login page should look like when it loads. Now the default password and username for Mikhmon is Mikhmon, MIKHMON, in small letters, and the default password is 1 2 3 4. All right, so once you log on, you're going to be greeted with a page like this. Now what we're going to do here is we need to create a session name. Let's call this tech spot. Yes. Now next is going to ask for the IP address of our MikroTik. To get the IP address of our MikroTik, we're just going to go back to Winbox and do a new Winbox session. Neighbors. It will show up here because you connected, it will show up here. So here we are on 4.1. If you remember, that was our IP range. Okay, so we go back to Mikhmon. This is 192.168.4.1. That's what we created earlier. The username we use to log into the MikroTik. So that is the username and password for the MikroTik. Okay, hotspot name, we called it tech hotspot. Okay, so to call it, the DNS name was tech.hotspot. Currency, I'm based in Uganda, so my currency will be UGX. Okay, there we go. So as far as I'm concerned, all here is kind of set to where we want it to be. Now what I'm going to do before I click connect is ping. Basically just pinging to see if the connection is working. Let me save that configuration. Okay, and then we hit connect. All right, voila. So what happens is once you connect, you're going to be greeted with this particular page. So it basically shows you time, the type of router board you're having, CPU load, and all of that. And basically hotspot active, as you can see, items, hotspot users, and all the above. Now, first things first, before we go creating anything, is you need to create some profiles. So we go over to hotspot, go to user profile, and then we go to add profile. So the different profiles are the different like packages you sell on your hotspot. So let's say, for example, I have a package of maybe 1,000 shillings. So let's say 1,000 shillings. Address pool, that. Shared users, 1. Why this shared users is here? Shared users basically tells the system how many people can use a voucher code. If you don't set this to 1, for example, if you set it to 2 or 5, the number you set there is the total number of devices that can use 1 voucher code. So if you set to 2, that voucher code can be shared to 2 people. If you set it on 1, it's only 1 person. Rate limit, this is basically how much speed do you want them to upload and download. I think the sweet spot is 4 to 5 Mbps. So okay, let's put it at 4 Mbps upload and 4 Mbps download. This capital N. Okay, I've seen some people set it to like 2, some people set it even as low as 1.5, but to be comfortable, I normally put it about 4, especially if I have the bandwidth. Okay, expiry mode, in this particular case, I'm going to say remove and record. What that does is when somebody's card has expired, it will remove it from the router, but it will record it so that you have a track of what is happening. Validity, so this 1,000 card maybe is valid for, let's say, 6 hours. Okay, all right, 6 hours, yes. And the price has 1,000 shillings. 1,000 shillings. Okay, lock user, yes. Now lock user, lock users, you can see it when explained here. Username can only be used on one device only, so make sure you lock the user. Always lock the user, or else people are going to give out their passwords, they'll give out their tokens, and then you'll find your hotspot is being used by very many people. Okay, once that is done, we save. So that has created, as you can see, this package over here of 1,000. Let's add another one. Let's add another one. Maybe this one shall be 2,000 shillings on the level. Let's say 1,500 shillings. Okay, address pool, that one. Shared users, 1. Our upload, as usual, is going to be 4 megabits per second. Download 4 megabits per second. Expiry, remove and record. Validity, our 1.5, maybe it says 12 hours. Let's copy a small h. Our price here is 1,500, and it's 1,500. Okay, lock user, always enable lock user and save. So you basically just keep on doing this over and over and over for the different profiles you have. Let's add maybe one more profile. Let's say 5,000. Okay, address pool is that. Shared users, 1. Let's give this one more bandwidth, so that will be 5M by 5M. That would be upload and download 5 megabits. Expired mode, remove and record. Validity, maybe they say this is 1 day. Yes. Price 5,000. Lock user, yes, enable lock user. Okay, and then we save. All right, so close here. So basically what we've done is we have created our 3 different user profiles. So now it's on these user profiles that will be generating cards that will match these particular profiles. Now, just to show you that Mikhmon actually is connected to your MikroTik. If we go back here to MikroTik and we come to IP, go to hotspot and we go to user profiles, you see the user profiles are created in Mikhmon are already here inside your MikroTik. Okay, let's go back to our Mikhmon and finish up. So on here now, on the left side panel, we're going to scroll down and look for vouchers. Click on vouchers. Now on vouchers, as you can see, it looks confusing at the moment, but it will make sense. There are quick ways in which you can get to this. The quickest way that I like doing is I go to the profile I want. Let's say this profile of 1,000, and I click open. Okay, so I'm in my profile over here of 1,000. Yes, just in the drop down to make sure. Now I'm going to say generate. See up here where there's users, add, blah blah blah. If you go to add creates just one user. We don't want that in this particular case, because that one user only uses username and password, which is not what we want. Yes, we want to create many. So you're batch processing your vouchers. You want 100 vouchers, you want 200 vouchers and stuff like that. So we're going to go to generate. In generate quantity, let's say I want 100 of these. Okay, server, choose hotspot server. Now here, user mode. You see, this is username and password. We want it to be username equals to password. That means the username and the password are basically the same thing. Username length, this now comes to your tests and preferences. I prefer 6, but of course to have more secure codes that are more random, you can always go up to 8, but I prefer 6. I find the fewer there, the better. Prefix is like the name, like a letter that you put before the particular voucher code. I use this to easily identify, for example, if you've printed all your voucher codes at once. Now you need to know which ones are for what profile. Yeah, so sometimes it's good to differentiate them. So what I'll do, this particular profile was 2 hours. Yes. Oh, we are on our 1000 profile. Yes. Yeah, this was the 1000 profile. So I'm going to call this maybe let's call this X. Yeah, so I know the X is for the 1000 shilling profile. Now character over here, character basically shows what your voucher should be like. So there is just a random ABCD with numbers, lowercase, then there is random ABCD in capital with that, then there is random mixed characters, capitals with the lowercase and what. And now I find those really confuse people, so normally I like having it on this one here where it's just letters in lowercase and numbers. Profile, we are on our 1000 shilling profile. Remember to always set these things here. Time limit, we set our profile. As you can see down here, it gives us a quick summary, yes, of what we set earlier. So make sure you set it here as well. So our time limit was 6 hours. Okay, data limits, we're not limiting them on how many MBs and GBs they can download, but if you want to, you can always limit them. For example, if you don't want your users to go maybe past 2 GB or 10 GB, but hey, you're doing a hotspot so people have unlimited internet, why would you do that? But anyway, so I'm not going to set that. And then here in the comment, we're going to say this is the 1000, I'm going to call 1K vouchers. Maybe I can call it batch 1. Okay, so that comment can help you later when you're generating them to separate them and know what goes where. Okay, once we're done with entering all these factors, we now click generate, and just like that, it's done generating. If I close here, you can see these are all our vouchers. We asked for 100 of them and they have been created. Now let's move to the next profile. Next profile is the one of 1500. Okay, 15 over here, generate, basically the same process. This one, let's say we want only 50 of them. 50. Server hotspot, username should equal to password. Always username equal password. Yes. Characters, I prefer them being 6. Okay, this one, small letters with numbers, makes things easier. But that our profile is the 1500. Prefix for this one, let's call this one maybe R. Yes, just so that we can separate them and we know what goes where. Time limit for this one is written down here in case you've forgotten. Yeah, it's written down here. Validity, this one is 12 hours, so our time limit here will be 12 hours. Okay, this basically just tells the scheduler that, you know what, after 12 hours take this person out. I've seen people complain that I generated my vouchers but it's not logging people out, people just continue using. If you skip any of these here, sometimes that also does mess you up. So make sure when you're creating your profile, set the time. When you're creating your vouchers, always remember to set the time limit. Okay, so the comment for this one will be, this will be the 15. Yes, so basically voucher batch 1. All right, just that I remember, and then I click generate. If we close this, you will notice now we have our new vouchers, all of them starting with letter R and assigned the way we wanted them. So basically it's the same thing. So again, we can go back now to the next profile of 5,000. Same thing, click generate. Yes, how many do you want? Maybe these ones I want only 20. Server hotspot, username equals password, length will be 6. Prefix for these ones I'm going to put 5, the letter 5, so that you know it is easy. The profile 5,000 is a profile. Time limit, always set your time limit. That would be 1 day, which is 1D, and then this will be daily batch 1. Okay, and then we click generate. Okay, so just like that, these have also been generated. Okay, so now if we just have an overview, if you go over back here to vouchers, you will see that our profile of 1000 has 100 vouchers, our profile of 15 has 50 vouchers, and our profile of 5k has 20 vouchers, just like we generated them. Okay, so let's go back and open. Yes, let's click on the profile of 1000. We've now reached the point where we want to generate these vouchers for printing. Yes, now in here there are 2 different ways. Yes, in this particular case there is the default size QR code and the small size. For saving on resources, I prefer using the small size, because if you use the big size you end up with fewer vouchers per page. So in this particular case we are going to choose small. But remember that comment that I told you earlier. Yes, so we're in the profile of 1000 over here. We come to comment and choose the comment. Remember we called them batch 1, that's why we put comments. Yes, so comment is batch 1. So in case I made like another batch, I'll just comment batch 2, batch 3, batch 4, batch 5, going down like that. So when I come to comment, I know what batch I want. I just click on comment and come to batch. Okay, so this is batch 1, and if I click on small generate, this is what they would look like, as you can see. So here I have the voucher would look like this. It has my name of the hotspot, the profile, the voucher code would be this one down here, and then you just go ahead. Now if we go back here, click print, you go ahead and save this as a PDF, take to your printing place, they print it, you cut those up, and then that is what you distribute to your people to buy. Now these vouchers are customizable. They're very, very customizable to whatever you want to do. If you want to customize them, that is if you want to customize them, we'll do another video about that, just so that this particular video is not that long. But just to show you, that basically is it. Now if we go back to our MikroTik, just to prove, if we go to MikroTik and we go to users, you see all our vouchers that we've created are all in here. You see them over here. So these here, the ones with X, then if we keep scrolling down, the ones with R, if we keep scrolling down, the ones with 5 are all there. Okay, so basically that means everything is up and running and we are good to go. MikroTik and Mikhmon have merged together, our vouchers have been created, and we are good to go. So just to prove that everything is up and running, we're going to go over to our Wi-Fi, okay, and select hotspot. That's the hotspot that we created. So we're just going to click on that in particular. Okay, once we click on that, it brings in the auto login page, as you can see that. Now on the login page here, let's just pick a code. Let's pick a code from the PC. Okay, let's pick this one here. Okay, now remember we said that the username should equal to password, so we're just going to use that twice over there. So if we enter in that over there, xtnb 775, then go to password and enter that xtnb 775. we'll just copy it and paste it over there, connect, and you can see we are logged in, and now we can enjoy using hotspot on our phone. So that means our setup is working beautifully, everything has been configured right, and that is it. I know it's been quite a long video. My apologies for that. I tried to go slow so that we don't miss any steps, and then also try to make sure that I covered as many bases as possible. If you do have any questions as regards to this or any other further questions, do drop them in the comment section, or as usual, drop them on my email, which is techselectug@gmail.com, or now you can also join our WhatsApp group community over there. The link is in the description below. Click on there, join. On that group particularly, we are just sharing ideas because you can't be a master at everything. Yeah, so we share ideas, we share thoughts, we help each other out on the particular WhatsApp group. So if you have any questions and what, drop them in a group. I'm sure someone somewhere all over the diaspora, all over the world, will be willing to help. And of course, when I also do get a chance, I do get to reply to almost all those questions. So I do hope you found this video very helpful. Remember to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to the channel. Those subscriptions do help us, support the channel in a very, very, very big way. But for now, let's talk. I just like to say thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this helpful. See you in the next one. Bye bye.